does define a woman. Marriage does make and break a woman. As much as your personal pursuit, as much as being called a successful entrepreneur, a CEO, or a doctor makes you feel some sort of high, gives you this dopamine rush,
and they just want a better life for you, sometimes that's not really their call to make. Like I said earlier, parents mean well, but they don't know everything. Stay in your lane, mommy and daddy. Stay in your lane. Respectfully. Love you.
Before she got engaged recently, has been in a long-term relationship with her boyfriend. Everyone's story is not the same. There cannot be hundreds of Jackie Aina. There is just one Jackie Aina.
I'm grateful that I grew up in a two-parent household. I'm grateful that I grew up with my dad and my mom together. Dysfunctional, but together, I guess. And see, isn't that such an unhealthy way of thinking? Like, oh, well, at least they were married.
You can just be talking about career, career, career. How many people successfully are Jackie Ainas today? How many people attain the kind of success that she has? If you're going to be putting so much effort in your career, be 100% sure that at the level that she is currently in.
I get it. Oh, they don't know everything. I get it. I get it. I know how you feel
Okay? You know this is not what you want. You know you want to be somebody's wife.
All right. With life, what's going on? This is Ola. I have my beautiful wife on the other side of the nation.
Hello.
What should we call this? What's going on, baby? This is Lola and Ola.com, and we have before we dive into what we're about to talk about, please make sure you subscribe to this channel and make sure you give it a thumbs up, all that good old stuff. We're trying to build the channel back up. There was an issue with the previous channel, so we're back on this one right now. We have like probably 4 videos up already. Every week Fridays we release a brand new video. What's today? Today is Wednesday, so
Yeah.
but this is going to be a random video in the middle of so you're still going to get the regular Fridays.
All right.
But yeah, what are we talking about today, babe?
We're talking about the video you sent me about Jackie Aina's first, but what she feels about marriage.
And what she feels, and
what's the other girl's name? Dina?
is it Dyna or Diana? I don't know. It's Dyna. You can check her out on YouTube. Ekwueme, I think. Yeah. Yes, Ekwueme. Dyna Ekwueme. It's Dyna. So the first video I saw was actually the Dyna Ekwueme. No, actually I saw Summer Aku, another YouTuber, talking about both of them.
Okay.
You know, so
I didn't even see Summer Aku's video.
I didn't either. I kind of like saw 1 minute. Once you're talking about other people, they're YouTubers, and I see the topic has to do about marriage, I figure it's something we probably should touch on. So I go watch the girls first.
Right.
What's your take on Dyna's views? Okay, so let's give them let's give everybody so basically Jackie Aina says marriage does not define a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, nah, fuck you, it defines a woman.
Well, she didn't say fuck you. She said
Okay,
it respectfully. Don't let people go and be attacking the poor girl. She didn't say fuck you, but she did explain why marriage defines a woman. And I kind of agree with some of her points, and I also agree with Jackie. I know in different perspectives. Okay, they both have like good points. Because Jackie, I know said she was married before at 21 years old. Clearly, at 21, when you get married, you think even now that we get married at 30 something, we don't even know what we're getting ourselves into. So not to talk of being at 21 and what she went through, and coming from a family of 2 parents, but dysfunction being in the family.
Mm-hmm. What happened?
Something weird is happening here.
Like what?
I started hearing all kind of voices. Yeah.
All right, go ahead, babe.
Yeah, so she got married at 21, and our marriage didn't work out because
Mm-hmm.
she felt like she was second-handed. She kept using that word second-handed,
Well,
and
she used it once or maybe twice.
well, maybe 3 times. But because I watched
Okay.
Dinah's video first, me too, I picked up the word second-handed. Like, you being second in a marriage,
Mm-hmm.
again, being second in a marriage does not make you second-handed.
Right. It's two
You
different
know what I
things.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want people to think, and this is my opinion about if you're pro-marriage, if you want to marry,
Mm-hmm.
don't let other people that don't want to marry, don't let them be the ones around you. You got to look up to people that are married, that are having, good marriages.
Got pick
And
your
if you don't
mentorship.
want to marry, because I do believe that some people don't have interest in marriage, just like some people have no interest in having kids. Believe it or not, I've met people that will say, I don't want kids because I know I can't be a good parent. And I
Mm-hmm.
actually appreciate that more than people that have kids and don't take care of these kids. That's why we have to understand that everyone's purpose is different.
Yeah.
So I would not force marriage on anyone. But if you want to have a happy, healthy marriage,
Mm-hmm.
it is possible. Do you have to sacrifice? Yes. Do you have to compromise all kind of stuff? Yes. Will you go through shit? Yes, you will. But would you get through it? Yes, you will. With God, all things are possible.
Right.
That is why I support Dana. And Jackie, I understand where she's coming from. Being women, we are pressurized. There's age limit on everything for us. And the reason why we're pressurized is not because they look down on us. I think people mistake that. It's because we are women and our biological clock is always ticking fast. So our parents reminding us of that, I think it's because they don't want us to miss out on certain things. Now, I choose to think that way. Most people see it as an attack.
Yeah.
Because, and the
They see
reason
that's
why
an
I feel like most people see it as attack is because they want that marriage, but they are not getting it. That's why it's an attack. But if you don't want to be married anyway, and someone is just, getting your face about it, you won't take an offense because you'll be like, well, I'm not interested anyway.
Yeah.
So I believe that women should be allowed to choose if they want to get married or not. And they should stick to their choices. Now, on the issues of feminism, being a feminist,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people jump on bandwagons.
Mm.
Okay? This is not what you want. You want to be somebody's wife. You don't mind being at home taking care of your kids. If that's what you want, don't be apologetic about that. This is some people's purpose in life. You have to do it. But if you know that you're the type that wants a career and you state that and follow that, career with family too, that is very, very important too, and it's possible. So it's about us saying what we want and not letting other people pressurize us, because we are all different beings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my own
That's your own take,
on
huh?
it. Yeah.
All right. There's a couple of points that I think we should take note of. We should take note
Right.
that Jackie Aina was married at 21. At 21, you're a baby.
Right.
In addition to the fact that most people are babies, even if they marry at 40 for the first time. Even I know people that
Yes.
are married for the first time at 40. It's a different experience entirely. You've
That's
always
right.
had to worry about yourself. Now you have to worry about other people.
Other people. Yeah.
Now, it's a fact that you will have to worry about other people. If that's what you define as being second-handed,
Mm-hmm.
you got a problem if you want marriage.
Yes.
And you have to pick and choose what battles of
What
life
do
you
you
want
want?
to fight. Now, what I can tell you is that it's not just marriage. When people talk about marriage, they think it's some special something. It's just relationships in general.
You
Marriage
got it, baby.
is a form of relationship. So if
Yes.
if you're running from marriage because you run from marriage, you're not doing yourself a favor, because
That's
you will
right.
have relationships and you have to nurture just relationships just the same way you nurture a marriage.
That's right.
You go into a relationship to give. So if
Mm-hmm.
giving in a relationships equals to being second-handed for you got a problem. And your problem will not end by running away from relationships.
Right.
The beautiful thing about learning how to nurture relationships is that that's when you grow as a human
That's
being.
right.
That's where your growth lies. So I can read between the lines of when people say women are second-handed. I understand a lot. I understand. I know for a fact that women have been oppressed for ages, centuries. Now we should be careful with not using that to cross the line or missing out on the beauties of relationships and
Yes.
nurturing relationships. So that's something I can read between the lines on what Jackie Aina is trying to say. On the surface, I agree with her. You should
Mm-hmm.
never put your dreams on hold. As long as it's
That's
your
right.
dreams,
Yes.
as long as it's your dreams, because a lot of people are confused. They don't know what their dreams are because they're following influencer such as
Yes.
beautiful
Yes.
Jackie Aina. So many
Hmm.
Jackie Aina, I know, right?
Hmm.
Right. So I see her point. I see where her point can be useful. It's good for strength. You should be
Right.
able to stand on your own feet because that means you can bring something to a
Right.
relationship. When you're bringing something to a relationship, don't confuse that with being secondhand. I remember growing up, like my brother, my younger brother, is a guy who is a little bit nonchalant when it comes to calling people and letting people know where he's at. As a grown man, when we were
Mm.
still roommates, yo, you got if you know you're not coming at 11 p.m. like you normally do, I'll be concerned. I will
Right.
check on you. Now, if you as a woman, if your husband is checking on you because you're not inside at 11 p.m. and you're not interpreting that as why are
Yeah.
you nosy, nigga, you know what I'm
There's
saying?
something wrong with that.
There's something
Yeah.
wrong with that. So people are confusing a lot of stuff together, and that's what I noticed. This the sweet spot is always in between, as I always say. You
Right.
don't want to be boy doormat for anybody. It's vice versa. It's not just men or women. It's any way you want to look at it. It's not just the husband or the wife. You can't be doormat.
Right.
But you must go into relations to give. You must be considerate. Is that the right English?
Right.
Right? You should expect that people that love you want to know your whereabouts, what you're up to. They're curious. There's a healthy level to that. There's a level it gets to that is too much or they're insecure. You start feeling like maybe they're insecure, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the whole misconstruing that people need to be careful when they're calling themselves second hand. Are you calling
Yeah.
second hand because you're not have to be accountable to other people? You have to be anyway. It's not about marriage. It's just about life. It's just about,
Right.
you know. Uh then another thing I wanted to point out with Jackie, I know she mentioned dysfunctional.
Oh,
Parents are together.
that's real.
You know, when you say dysfunctional, you gotta be careful what you are calling dysfunctional.
Mm.
Some people are interpreting that as, oh, that's the reason why I shouldn't go into marriage. No, that's what's gonna make you grow. You have to go through fire in order to become
Yes.
diamond. And you can run away from it's like almost like you can avoid reality, but you can't avoid the consequences of avoiding reality.
Reality. Right.
You know, so the reality is that we are human beings and we are going to be in relationships either we like it or not. It's just a matter of you choosing what kind of relationships you want to use to become a better person.
Right.
I, like many people in the world who may even be in denial, believe that marriage is the unit of relationships, is the unit of a society, is where people nurture themselves and become better for the society, right? But if you
Mm-hmm.
start to raise kids outside of a marriage, I understand when it's a circumstance and marriage
That's
divorces happen,
different.
you know.
Yeah.
But when you actually deliberately doing that, you're not helping yourself, you're not helping the society at large because
Right.
there are clearly studies that traces all kind of dysfunction in human life, just as an
Right.
individual, back to not being raised in a household like a family,
Right.
at least like a family. So I think our parents know a lot of stuff that we don't know, and I think young
Mm-hmm.
people need to pay attention to that. I think you should
Mm-hmm.
focus on what your parents know that you don't know. Stop focusing on what the
Mm-hmm.
parents don't know. I get it. Oh, they don't know everything. I get it. I get it. I know how you feel because I was a child too and rebellious, right? But why are you
Mm-hmm.
focused on what they don't know that. Why you should be focused on what they know that you don't know. You should keep your eyes open so that you
Right.
don't miss out on that, because there's a lot that they know just from simple experience. And by the way, you should observe them more than you are listening to them. Sometimes they don't know how to say the right things either, you know.
No, they don't.
But observe them. They know some things that you need to learn
That's
about
work for
life.
them. Yes.
Yes. It may look like your mother is taking on BS when she should have just walked away. No, you don't know anything. If she
You don't
walked
know
the
what
walk,
your life is gonna be if your mother walked away from our marriage. You don't
exactly.
even know if you'll turn out to be who you are today. This is one thing that young people don't understand. They'll be like, let me tell you, you have to go through stuff in life just by yourself alone. So what makes you feel like you get into a marriage with someone and not go through stuff? And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, that's dysfunctional. People throw that word around
Right.
usually.
So if you're saying dysfunctional, right, be careful on what you're saying, because your mother is not dumb.
Nope.
I'm not disputing that some of them should have probably walked away from some very dysfunctional stuff. But I'm saying you should be focused on what is the strength. Why is this woman maintaining this kind of strength? Why? And you should learn that, because you're going to need that kind of strength in life.
Yes, when you're going through your own.
Yes, because you will.
Okay.
And I can't save you from that.
Okay, no one can.
Exactly. So the parents thing, that's something I noticed Jackie Aina saying. Now, Diana, right, about the feminists, she's absolutely right. A lot of people are jumping on bandwagons.
Yes.
I believe that um, there's a compensation of some sort that needs to happen, because generally people are, like, just women have suffered for a long
They
time,
are
and I
oppressed.
get
Yeah.
I get the backlash, but the backlash can hurt you if you overtake the backlash yourself. And I
Yes.
see a lot of women doing that. A lot of people are very quick to, you just think about it like this: if everyone is going this direction, there's a good chance that you probably should not go in that direction.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a very good chance. So if everybody is saying, "Oh yeah, woman power," like, I am for woman power, you gotta be careful.
Me
Tone it
too.
down,
All the way.
tone it down, tone it down. Let's find that we may end up missing something here if all of us just force face this direction. You
You
don't
need a
want to miss
balance.
out. You need that balance. So it's definitely a follow thing. Now, finally, does marriage define a woman?
Mm.
The question is that, does marriage define human beings?
Mm.
The absolute answer to that in this society today, at least as we know it today, is yes. The health of the marriage that you're inside would define your direction in life. Now, you may think you're not in a marriage. No, you were born into some kind of marriage. Either they're separated, or you were
Right.
born outside of
A
a marriage.
union. Yeah.
You have some kind of relationship with marriage. Your brain has some kind of relationship with marriage. And the relationship you have with the idea of marriage in your head can make or break the rest of your life.
And
You
the
may
funny thing is that women, at least I would say most women want marriage. So
that's, yeah, exactly.
the
So,
percentage is
and
high.
if you're very loud about how much you don't want marriage, it's your evidence. That's your evidence right there that you want marriage.
Yep.
If you're very loud about it, if you don't want marriage, it's usually in crossing, in passing, in a conversation. No, I'm not
You
interested in getting
being
married.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me personally, I don't believe there's a woman I can't sell marriage on if I'm interested in the woman.
Mm.
That's how far I feel my strength is in terms of wooing a woman and getting them interested in the marriage. I think when a woman feels safe, right, it's a natural thing to say, maybe that's not a bad idea. So a woman that's just lousy about they don't want marriage is an evidence there's other stuff going on in the back of their brain. They've been hurt. It didn't happen enough
They've
time,
been hurt.
fast enough. And I get it. But when a woman feels safe, she will go to any extent. She will do even wrong things because she just feels safe. And that's the way it goes. So a lot of damp latter with the mouths, I take it with a grain of salt. I look at what people's actions are, right?
Yes.
Jackie Aina just got proposed to. She didn't say no. So,
She said, hell yeah. And she
right.
been married before. She
So,
went through stuff.
right.
Okay.
If marriage is struggling, on the other side of it, if you can do the work, it's
Right.
very sweet, right? If
Yes.
it's not your reason to say, after all these people suffer, let me warn you about looking at people that put themselves on blast on social
Right.
media about their marriage suffering. That's the highlight of the negativity going on in their life at that point in time.
That is
It's
true.
not all bad.
Nope.
You bought into the bad because they made a mistake of putting themselves on blast on social media, which a lot of people do.
Yep.
And now you're
Yep.
stuck on that. And by the time they sleep with each other at night, they forgive each other, they move on.
They move on.
You're still stuck on that. Keep
And
that
then
in
you
mind.
end up missing out on the good things of life because
Yes. So your mother ain't stupid. Your father is not stupid. The people that stay in it that they may look stupid, they're not stupid. There's something, at least from a mental standpoint, that they're enjoying.
right.
But of course, when negativity happens, if they're not careful, Togri Balano, and
Along Bali,
then
Kosi.
they put themselves on blast, which is a bad thing to do.
Yes.
But don't use that to define their marriage. That's what you should be worried about. Don't use that one moment of negativity or their complaint, or maybe your friend comes to you and complain to you about her husband all the time. Don't use that to define their marriage. There's a reason why your friend is still in there. Clearly, they're enjoying something. A lot of women want to move on, and they have a hard time moving on. And you may say they are addicted to abuse. That's the popular way of saying it. What about there's something that's making them feel safer in the marriage, and if you can just help them work on the little bit,
Yeah, if you could just work on that.
right, maybe it'll be all good. So all we're saying here, I guess, is be careful. Don't just run with every
With
advice you get on
everything you
the
hear.
internet.
That's right.
I think we agree that it's individuals, based on individuals and what you
Yes, it
want.
is.
What you want shows more in your actions more than your words. So I'm not worried about you making noise about how much you don't want marriage. I'm not worried about that. It's about internally, what do you really want? Where do you feel safe? Right now, you feel safe being single. You will naturally feel safe being single if you're 35 and you're not married. You've tried a few times. You will naturally feel safe being single. If you were 21 and you got married and you had an extremely bad experience, you would naturally feel safe being single because you have that trauma, right? But
Yes.
I'm telling you, from if you have any kind of experience in life, you know that on the other side of experience is intelligence. That's just the way it works. That's the way it works. On the other side of experience, you have a lot more intelligence to navigate life. When you learn how to nurture your relationships, which I think that's what Jackie Aina may be easily misconstruing as secondhand, right? I think I, I think you got it all mistaken there. Now, it's possible that she may have been acting like a second hand. Well, don't get into a relationship to act like a second hand. That's two different things. You go into a relationship to
Yes.
give is different from you acting like a doormat. I'm not.
Don't lose yourself.
Don't lose yourself.
Because
Maintain yourself.
that actually, I feel like it's natural for most women to lose themselves because when women get into the role of the wife, they compromise easily
Yeah.
than men.
Yes.
So, and then when you find
Yes.
out one woman that is not willing
I
to
agree.
compromise, that's when you hear, oh, she's so disrespectful. Oh, she's so pompous. Oh, she's so keen. No, it's not that. It's her
No,
trying
no,
to
but
maintain her stance.
also, women when they get the memo that, hey, I'm supposed to be myself, they tend to go to the extreme other side of being arrogant about it, right?
So then we all need a balance.
We all need a balance. We all need,
And
so
I feel like
if I come to you, babe, sorry to cut you off. If I come to you and I say, you said I should eat bagel today. I said, no, babe, I don't want bagel, right? But that's because I've been eating bagel every day for the past week. But anyway,
that comes to your mind. Right.
but I said I don't want bagel, right? And you say, why not one bagel? You should just want bagel. I said, I don't want bagel.
No.
Right, babe? And then I keep it moving this direction. I'll go figure out myself on what I want. Right? It's different from, what do you mean I don't want bagel? It depends the attitude that you bring into the conversation, right?
No, that's not your child. If a person does not want bagel, they have the right not to eat bagel.
You know
That's
what
a
I'm
grown
saying?
person.
Right. So now as a woman, right? If your
Right.
husband wants you to do something, you can, and you don't want to do it, you can respectfully decline.
Yes.
Even
Absolutely.
including, babe, I'm tired tonight. It's the way you say it.
Yes.
Is the attitude you had to it. Right? Now, if your husband say, if he goes, you don't want, what kind of wife does that? Now, you can bite into that negativity and it can spread, or you can just be like, I'm just tired. You can remain in that demeanor, right? Remain yourself while you're saying that. Yourself will be somebody who is an adult. You may end up with a husband who is not grown, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, there are a lot of men, not
Right,
lots, there are men out there
right.
that are very,
God
very
forbid, right?
immature. Very immature.
Hmm.
That brings out the pettiness out of their wives. So,
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot
the
of
truth
that
is real.
going on, but again, if you haven't been not mature before, you can't understand what maturity is. Just keep that
Yes.
in mind. If you don't know what immature means, you don't understand what mature means. If you're in a situation in a marriage where your husband act like he's not matured, is bickering, is always arguing with you, he's trying to win an argument with you all the time, it's a conversation that needs to be had. He needs to learn how to become a man. That's just what that is. Most
Mm.
men will go into marriage as a child. That's a fact of life. They will go into a marriage as a child. Now, that means there's a need for growth. When you go through that
Yes,
growth, right? The other side of that growth is beautiful.
it is.
If you dump that man because of that, the next man you're going to get into, like I just said, there's an extremely high chance it's going to be a child, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then you have to do that work anyway.
All
So
over
the
again.
idea of avoiding the work you need, maybe look at me. You have to look at the camera. You're looking at yourself.
Oh, I'm looking at you, funny enough.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
actually,
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
looking
I
at
mean, don't
myself.
look at me. Look at the camera, rather.
Okay, my camera is over here, baby.
Actually, I'm looking at you're right. Yeah, you're looking right. Yeah, this is your camera, but you're looking at me because
So
I'm
you
looking
want
at
me to
you
look at?
too.
So
No, it
you want
doesn't matter.
exactly?
Doesn't
You're
matter.
looking at me.
It doesn't matter. This is looking at you now, but looking at your pictures, I'm looking at you, right?
But I'm looking at you, though.
Now you're looking at me, or you're looking at the camera.
I'm looking at you.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's okay.
All
It's
right.
normal. It's normal.
That makes me to be weird a little bit. I
You
like to
know,
look at the eyes when I'm talking.
me too. But you can't tell what I'm looking at because my eyes are squinch me. But anyway,
My eyes are big.
so
Whatever.
so let's go back to the topic real quick. Does marriage define a woman? I think marriage define all of us.
Mm.
The health of the marriage you came out of, the one you got into, your mindset about marriage will define you. Either you like it or not, you don't have to be married. Your
Right.
mindset about marriage is basically your mindset about relationships. If you
Right.
feel like you always feel like somebody's out to get you in relationships, you will lead with that energy, and that's going to be the quality of your relationships.
Yes.
You have a fence up, you put a guard up,
Yes.
and when you put a guard up, there's an unhealthy level to that
You can't even enjoy the benefits of the marriage.
of life.
The
Of life,
Basically.
because we're talking relationship, which is basically what life is about. If you're
Right.
not in beautiful relationship, what is life? What's the point? You think it's your career? No, your career, you get tired of your career. Every one of
Mm.
us. It's not man or woman thing. Every one of us. You get to a space.
I am happy you said it's not a man or woman thing. I think people forget that too. It's
Yeah.
not a man or woman thing. It's just us as individuals. No matter what you are,
Yes.
man, woman, or both.
Boy,
You
girl,
still do.
even babies, when they look at you in the eyes and you throw them up and they smile at you, that relationship being created right there is what life is about. Why do you look at babies and you fall in love right away?
Exactly.
Right? Let's stop being in denial about how much we actually value relationships and learn how to put value into the relationships, as opposed to be very quick to snap every time the relationship doesn't serve us. The relationship will serve you as
Mm-hmm.
much as what you put into it.
That's right.
Right? People will reciprocate at some point. Maybe it's not always instant. Maybe people are going through their own shit. That's why you must learn how to give indefinitely when you want to give. If you don't want to give, don't stay in the marriage. If you don't want to give, don't stay in the damn relationship, including your siblings. It's the same thing across board. The only difference between marriage and your relationship with your sibling is sex.
That's right.
Which, by the way, the same way you treat sex is the same way. You want to enjoy sex, put some energy into enjoy sex. Into that relationship, though.
Mm-hmm.
You have to put some effort into that. If you put effort, the thing you need to understand about putting effort is when you sow seeds, right? It comes back in folds.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
so don't think, oh, so I have to do that all the time so I can enjoy sex. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you just sow a little seed, it will come
It
back and
goes a
forth.
long way.
If
Yeah.
you don't sow seeds and you're sowing seeds of complaining, argument,
You'll get it back.
bickering, you're gonna get that back in folds, especially if you're a
Yeah.
man giving it to a woman, by the way.
Right.
You'll get it back in folds. So this is really a relationship talk. Most of the marriage stuff we talk is every relationships. The only
Every.
difference is when we talk about, you're living with the person you have that tie to. What do we
Right.
say about divorce? Don't get attached to the word divorce. Marriage, don't get attached to the word marriage. It's about relationships. It's about nurturing that relationship. We talk about attachment. Don't get attached to the outcome, because
It kills the marriage. Yeah.
people are naturally gonna disappoint you, and they
Yes.
will,
Yes.
because they are not God, right?
They're human beings.
Yeah.
Hello.
So we always lead with God, right? Personal
Yes.
purpose, right? And self. We already know those are the three core pillars. But the reason for those being the three core pillars is so that you can have adequate enough to give into your relationships. That's the reason. We're not saying self-love, so you can say self-love, I just gonna love me, because I noticed Jackie Aina mentioned that too.
Don't deceive yourself.
Don't deceive yourself. Stop
I
deceiving
see
yourself.
a lot of them like, yo.
Yeah, you need to know
Don't
what's the
deceive
purpose.
yourself, and don't miss out on good things in life. Don't, because you feel you have that guard up.
Right,
No,
right.
it makes no sense.
Just keep in mind when we say self-love, keep in mind what's the purpose of self-love. The purpose of self-love is so that you don't need it from another person.
That's right.
You can give it to them.
That's where your confidence comes from, actually. Yeah,
confidence.
You're super confident about yourself. You're happy. You feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You look good. You feel good.
And that's what I noticed about Dyna. She's very confident in what she has going on. That doesn't mean she's not going to be tested in life in her own marriage.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
Or be either
everyone will be.
Either you're holy or sinful.
Unholy.
Right? You will go through your own test in life. Your pastor ain't going to save you from that. The only thing that will save you from that is your self-development, your mental state, these tools that you should have handy, like the book getmymarriageback.com.
That's right.
So.
And God first.
God first, personal purpose, self-love. The reason for all of that is so you don't go into a relationship being needy. When you go into a relationship being needy, the confidence declines, attraction declines. Nobody wants you. But if you have God, personal purpose, and self-development, self-love, all these things, you will attract people. When you attract people, your guards will come down to the right place because you don't need them. When you say, I have God, I have purpose, I have self-purpose, being you're a career woman. But then every time a guy approaches you, your guard goes up. That's anxiety. That's lack of self-love. That's lack of self-confidence.
That's right.
You will lead with that energy. You will push that person away, either with both of your hands or with just your aura.
Your energy. Yeah, your aura. Yeah.
Absolutely. Basically, the universe, as they say, will align with how
with what you're thinking. Yeah.
So So the idea of all of this is to reduce anxiety so you can increase attraction level. People want to be around you. They just want to be a part of your life. A man wants to take that home to mama, right? And they're going to want to take that. And then you take the time, whatever, how much time you need as an individual, to observe the person. If the person fits into it, it fits. Without anxiety about, what if he breaks my heart tomorrow? What about the one that broke my heart when I was 21? All those anxiety come into place that worries a lot of young ladies.
Those are baggages. Yeah.
Those baggages will hurt you. They increase anxiety, reduces attraction, and you could be the prettiest girl in the world. And when the when a man comes in, because a lot of these men are not going to be real until they go through stuff, but right? But when a man comes into that, he observes it, he wants to be a part of that. All you need is, he needs to align with you want to be a part of this too. That's all you need. You're not going to worry about what if he breaks your heart tomorrow. If you're worried about that, well, he's going to break your heart at some point. If you let him into a place, this place we're talking about, let me give you reality. He's going to break your heart. But that's what's going to make you grow to the levels you need to be in life.
Who's going to hurt you if not the people that are closest to you?
Exactly. Your sister hurt you.
Outsiders can hurt you.
Your brother hurt you.
Your brother, your mom, your dad,
your mama,
your husband, your children. Like, that's because you guys are close. That's why.
Yeah.
And people think, oh no, your relationship will just be all sunshine. You're not going to have days that you're going to go through stuff. They get that, they become shocked. Like, oh, this is not supposed to happen. I'm supposed to be in a happy marriage. No, you're supposed to. Those days will come. Then you can now use the tools you have to solve whatever problems you have. And you can go ahead, you have another great, fantastic years of marriage. When another one happens, you know to settle it, not run away from it every time it happens.
Yeah. So we wanted to keep this 10 minutes, folks, but this conversation is kind of enjoyment. But we will do once in a while live like this. We will keep our Q&As under 10 minutes, the regular ones, the weekly ones. But once in a while, we'll do a live one like this, especially if I'm on the road. It's a good one to to connect, But yeah, back to Dyna. I think Dyna is so. To be fair, I want to judge Dyna a little bit.
Okay.
Anything extreme is not good.
Right.
Anything, even the Bible, has its own sayings. The scripture has its own sayings about idolatry. Idolatry is not about necessarily the imagery you put in the corner.
It can be anything.
It could be anything. It could be the concept of marriage itself. If you make that your God, that's not a healthy thing either. And just to put a balance there, it is I was talking to, we were talking about Catholic people, right? They have like an altar in their house, right? I was talking to my mother.
They all do?
If you're a Catholic, especially Nigerian Catholic, they have like an altar in their house where they pray. They'll put Mary's image there, Maria, Mary the Virgin, So they all do that, So, naturally, my mom, Pentecostal, they all come from judgmental zone when they want to talk about stuff like that. I said, I told my mom, I said, but you give me my own image. My own image is that 9:00 every night I have to pray for my family. That is like imagery thing. And if we don't do that, we feel not normal. Don't we? Right?
Yeah, but I'm not like you. I sometimes it's 9:30 for me. I don't really follow the 9:00 thing.
No, I just said it like that. I just kind
of go to sleep at a certain time.
Yeah, we don't exactly follow it like that, but it's in my head.
Right.
It's in my head because my parents put it there.
Or if you miss a church like a Sunday, that's a big deal. Like Monday, you don't go to church.
For me right now, when I'm out of town, right? Like I am right now, Sometimes my father said, "Oh, did you go to church?" I said, "No, I didn't go to church. I don't go to church out of town."
Yeah, because you're supposed to go look for a church in that town and attend.
Yes,
And
you're
we
supposed
don't
to find
necessarily.
a church and
Nah.
attend. And guess
Mm-mm.
what? When I first came to New Jersey when I was 18 years old, right?
Right.
Of course I used to go to church with my auntie, my uncle, my cousins, right?
Right.
And then there was this one Sunday they didn't go, you know, but I was fresh out the boat, you know.
So it was weird for you.
I had to. I picked up back then. There was only phone books, yellow phone books. I picked up yellow phone books. I saw a church in Metuchen, and I
And you went
called
to the
them.
church?
They came to. I think they even came to pick me up or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, but because that was in my head as an image that I was worshiping, it wasn't about God.
It wasn't about God.
No, it wasn't about God, and that's the part that a lot of human beings need to understand, that your brain is really, really just a meat, a big meat
Mm-hmm.
of brain.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, has nothing to do about God, but still has everything to do about God because we are gods, right?
Mm.
But your self-awareness is really what brings you to that place where you are at the level of not God but God,
I
right?
mean, I wouldn't go to, like, last Sunday I didn't go to church, and I really did want to go to church, but
But why
I was
didn't you
feeling
go
good.
to church?
I had
You went.
allergies.
Well,
I
we
didn't want
can't.
to be sneezing and all over the place, looking like, I don't know. I'm not comfortable. I
Well,
don't go to church
we
when
kind
I'm
of have
sick.
a lifestyle now that we don't follow that anymore. It's been 21 years,
Right.
right? But I'm saying, the point is that I was telling my mom that she put this stuff in my brain too.
Right.
It's just not in the form of the image
Of
of
a of
Mary, the
a
Virgin.
wooden stick or a
Yeah,
picture,
yes,
altar. Yeah.
and it doesn't make it better because it's in the brain.
Mm.
you know,
True.
if you make a image for yourself and you're worshiping it, then you have a problem. That's why the sweet spot is always in between. Even this idea of psychology, learning psychology of relationship and stuff, that can become God. Like if I'm in it and I'm the one going through relationships, I still have to be careful because I'm
Yes.
in a very dangerous spot. I may not be able to
Mm-hmm.
see my own, like I can't see inside my own nose.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
may need other people to observe what's going on and tell me, like, this
Mm-hmm.
is where you're off, this is where you're off, because I'm still human at the end of the day. And
Right.
that's something that we all have to be careful because the scripture says he
We
who
have blind
stands,
spots. Yeah.
a gas blind
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
So the energy she brought into that married conversation, Dinah, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, girl, just make sure
She's
you
going for
got
the
your shit.
feminists, right? She's going for the
Yeah, she
feminists.
went for the feminist. Make
Yes.
sure you got
Yes.
your shit right because the
Yes.
day you fall apart, these
Mm.
YouTubers will come for
Preach.
your nuts.
Oh, preach. Yeah.
They will destroy you.
They're
Like they'll be
waiting.
like, you see this couple they're destroying right now. What's their name? What's their
Is
name
it
again?
Jamie and Nikki?
The white boy and the black
Yeah,
girl.
Jamie and Nikki. Oh my God.
You see how people are talking
Oh,
about that?
wow.
You
People are
like
going to the extreme of saying, oh, this is why I don't follow all this marriage talks and blah, 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 because, most of them are just fake. I'm like, what?
that's bullshit.
Everyone go through shit.
Everyone go
Just
through
because you
shit.
don't
Yeah.
see that, don't mean that they're fake.
Yeah,
Use your
yeah.
own brain.
Yeah,
Don't be
well,
looking at someone as perfect and everything. That's
yeah,
the problem with human beings.
yeah.
They
And that's
worship everything they see.
hmm and that's the beauty about the concept that we teach and the three core pillars, starting with
Mm.
God, because everyone can become full of themselves.
Yes.
When you see somebody go through something, the first go to is to destroy what they stood for.
That's sad.
That's more of a weakness on your part. Um,
And that's actually you being miserable. I'm
mhm.
sorry.
Right. No, it's misery. I mean, if you say that's why I don't go,
And they love
once
company.
you use that statement, that's why I don't go for this,
Oh my God.
son. Damn, you feel that way? Tell me how you really feel. Right? Tell me how you really feel. Were you happy for me while I was in this shit? I bet not.
I tell you. You got to be careful the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be.
So the Jamie and what's her name again?
And Nikki.
Who?
Jamie and Nikki, babe.
Oh, Jamie Anika. I thought she had an African name. I was thinking more of what's the African girl actress? Very popular name.
Lupita.
I was thinking of Jamie and Lupita, but
Baby, that is so wrong.
I don't know. I didn't know Jamie and Nikki. Okay, like for example,
So African people can have names like Nikki and
all
all
my
that stuff.
children have African names. You know,
Yeah,
so
that's you now.
Bolu Atife, Olua Tony,
Olatomi,
Olua Tumi,
Olutoni.
yeah, right. So they all have Yoruba names. So I'm okay with Jamie and Lupita, but oh wait.
It's not Lupita, it's Nikki.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right. So, but like just like them, they've shown this image of a perfect thing, right? What part of that did you miss? Of course, they were showing you highlights. Of course, they staged a camera, right? They weren't exactly acting, but they put a camera
Mm-hmm.
together. If your camera is in your face,
Right.
your behaviors will be filtered. It's just natural,
Right.
right?
Right.
Even me right now, you think I talk like this all posh every day? No, I don't.
Oh my God! Did you just call yourself posh? Oh my God! I can't.
At
I'm
least I'm saying.
done.
At least I'm saying I don't. I'm a
Abio.
lot more. I'm a lot more whoosh whoosh village boy in real
You
life.
know, you get comfortable. Hey.
You know, so you get the point. So it's like you have to you have to use your brain, like my beautiful wife here just said.
Please use your brain.
When you're
Use
watching
it.
YouTube, you're watching anything. Um, you watch Jackie Aina. Jackie Aina said she was married at 21. Does that sound like an adult to
Duh.
you?
And she's getting up. No, the funny thing is she's getting married again. So use your brain. Obviously, she's saying that, you know
Mhm.
what? I still want to be married. I still want a happy relationship. She's not saying, oh, don't go. No, if you don't want to marry, that's fine. I respect
Right,
you.
and she's
I
clearly,
respect that all day long.
mhm. And she's clearly enjoyed a relationship for a
Yes.
while. So again, even marriages, when people are in marriage, one of their problems because they put that title marriage on their head and they
Oh,
discourage them.
yeah. This is
So
even something they do. Once they get married, they discard all their friends and they think they're on a high horse.
they have all the
And
rules.
I don't believe in that. Why?
Yeah.
Because you're married don't mean you're better than other people. This is
Yeah.
why people that really, really hate unmarried people.
That's
It's because
why.
of their attitude.
So let's switch gears a little bit to married people. That's why I I don't. I've never. What's the word? I've never signed up for. I remember when we were first married, I would say you're my girlfriend. I didn't like the
Right.
title wife.
Right.
And years later, maybe 9 years later, that thing became a real thing,
Mm-hmm.
because naturally we fell into it over time. We're now husband and wife.
Right.
That just comes with attachment,
Yep.
it does. And attachment decreases attraction. But if you can stay in this space of I am in a relationship with this woman, or I'm in a relationship with this man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my job is to give my everything as much as possible. That's it. If you can stay in that, because that's what you do when you're doing a boyfriend or girlfriend. You don't have
Mm-hmm. When
expectations.
it's all rosy. That's what
Yes.
you do.
What you do when you want that person is you do everything to impress that person. Impressing does not equal to becoming a doormat. I'm saying you want to impress that person. So there's a deliberate part of it, of the seed sowing I mentioned earlier, that you have to do as you move on. Like, for example, part of that is learning yourself, what self-development is, learning some things
Right.
about relationships. So sometimes you're going to catch yourself and say, I'm not feeling her right now. But this is
Mm-hmm.
the moment. This is my test moment to love the shit out of her. Because for a fact, I'm being human right now. She just pissed
Right.
me off with that.
Right.
But I'm going to stay calm because I don't need her to be perfect.
Right.
I don't need her to be perfect. I just need her to allow me to be me. Well, guess what? I don't need her to allow me to be me. I'm going to be me anyway. Because when
Right.
I'm
You
being
don't
me,
need permission.
she's
Yeah.
going to continue to respect me. She may have
That's
moments.
right. Mm-hmm.
If she needs work personally, I'm going to let her take her time on doing that work. Sometimes out of love, I tell her, you have that attitude consistently, babe. You need to work on that.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say it
Mhm.
once. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Mhm.
There's a difference between
Mhm.
saying it once and nagging it.
Nagging over. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come
Nagging
on.
is attachment. Nagging is you saying, I need you to be perfect. Right? Saying it is you actually chose to say it out of love. Like, babe, you have this attitude about this. See if you can do something about it. I may be wrong, but I just noticed, just wanted to share that with you. If you guys are in a great place, have conversations about this kind of things. A lot of people don't really realize that we enjoy this more as a therapy for us than
No, they don't
about
know.
entertainment
Yeah.
or education.
Right.
This is good stuff, because when
Mhm.
we talk this, remember, this still us that's here talking. Right? So we're gaining from it, because when it's the
You're
same, when you
learning.
teach, you learn
Yes.
twice.
Yes.
So that's some of the things I notice people are doing. So back to Diana, right? Diana, she was a little bit on that marriage thing. Like, everybody must marry young. I don't necessarily agree that everybody must marry young. I do think when you
Yeah.
marry young, you have less attachment to the idea of marriage. And
Mm.
that can be a good thing. I always say, if I married later than 27 years old, there's a good chance that I may choose, because of the way my brain is set up, I may choose to never marry again,
Mm.
because I would have too
You won't
much.
have patience for certain
I
things.
will
Yeah.
know too much. This is the way to say
Yeah.
it. I will just know too much. Because naturally you learn more as in life. And when you learn, think about it, babies, right? The only time that babies are scared of falling, right, is when they fell in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So I will know too much. You know, I would have broken a lot of hearts. I would have had my heart broken a few times. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be a breakup or something crazy. It could just be disappointment, little here and there. Or I see that, oh, she liked to she liked to dig her nose, and I just found out 3 years into it.
Are you kidding me?
I just know
Jesus.
too much. When you start knowing too much, you naturally have your fence up.
Yeah.
So the key to all of this, or good relationships, is to first of all lead with, well, God, personal purpose, and self-education is part of that self-love thing, right? That
Mm-hmm.
also means you agree that, let's agree to disagree. Agree that we all don't know shit. There's
We
stuff to
don't.
learn,
So much.
especially if you're 21 or 35 or 45. Right? Especially when you think your mom's marriage is dysfunctional because you've seen a few moments where they were
Because
not
you've seen them
happy.
argue and they're
Nigga,
not
you don't know
happy.
shit.
Are you kidding me?
You don't know shit about
Get
life,
out
and
of
you
here.
should pay a little bit more attention to what you can learn more than what you think you know. And that's my
People
word
need
to Jackie.
basically need to stop judging. Basically.
Yeah.
Like, have empathy for people rather than judge them. Because you
Our
don't know what
own,
they're going through.
we're lucky enough, and I say lucky and fortunate and blessed and favored, to still have our parents.
Yes. Yes.
None of them have
Absolutely.
perfect relationship.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
But listen to this carefully. That's a fucking blessing.
Yes, it is. There are people looking for parents
No
to
matter
care for them.
how you want to shape it or form it, that's not your reason to not look forward to your own relationship with your own significant other into the future, if that's what you want. Okay, if you don't want to be married, please, there's no reason for you to be watching Diana anyway.
Yeah. Because she's
You know,
pro-marriage.
but you must
Yeah.
learn relationships, because you will be in relationships. It would destroy you if you don't learn relationship. It would destroy your career if you don't learn how relationships work. You would deal with your boss
Yep.
in a way that would destroy your career. You would deal with your professional relationships because you don't learn how human brains work. You refuse to learn those things because you thought you were running away from it, because you run away from marriage because of that, and you will miss out a lot in life.
Yeah.
And you will say things like, I don't kiss ass. Nigga, you will kiss ass sometimes. You don't have to lick
I
balls,
can't.
but you will
My
kiss
God.
ass sometimes. You will borderline kiss ass sometimes because it's basically what you define in that moment of, that's my moment of giving, because I'm going to sow some seeds. This person is going
So
to
I
come back
can reap
around
some.
and give
That's
a ton
right.
of shit back to me because she's going to be reciprocated. This
Yes.
is how life works. There's no,
This is
like, you
life.
can take my words now, the kiss ass partner, you can run with it and say, hey, use that word and destroy yourself with it. Or you can say, I get the point. You have to sow seeds in life. That's the way life works. You cannot harvest without sowing seeds. That's
That's
what
right.
relationships are all about. That's what marriage is all about. That's what life is about. Marriage is an institution. It is an institution. But it was an institution just to formalize the idea of relationship. That's all it is.
Right.
Don't take it more than what it is. Don't get stuck on, oh, marriage is destroyed and so when you get married. No, if you run away from that, you go destroy yourself somewhere else anyway. You're not helping yourself.
Real life stuff, man.
This is real life. We're
This
going to
is
deal
real
with
life
this
stuff.
anyway. Let's
And
say
the
you run
funny
away
thing
from
is,
marriage, right? Sorry,
yeah,
one more thing, baby. Let's say you run away from marriage, but you have friends who are in marriage. Now you're going to be the one destroying your friend's marriage because you see, I warned you not to get into marriage. You're going to be destroying lives all over the place, forgetting there are kids coming into the world.
it's just like when women, some women will say, "Oh, all men are dogs." Okay, I guess you're never gonna be with another man again. And I've actually had people say, "Oh, because of that, they wouldn't date another man, and they'll go and date a woman." Oh, and then they date a woman. Oh, she's a bitch. Hello.
What is a bitch? What is a dog? Is a dog not a bitch?
A bitch is a female dog. These things are everywhere. You're not gonna get a better relationship.
You're not getting
if you
away
don't
with this.
sow into your relationship.
Yeah,
So
you're not
stop
getting away with
running
this.
around
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like a chicken with
Cut off head.
half cut neck. You know,
Yep.
people need to understand they need to sow, and they keep saying, "Oh, marriage is give and take." No, when you give, you automatically receive.
You receive instead of trying to
Period.
take.
It's
Yeah,
not give and take.
it's not give and take. Yeah, that's that. Now, marriage, relationships are not give and take. You go there to give. Period. If you don't like to give again, at that point in time, feel free to move on. But don't expect take. No, feel free to move on. That's
Don't
why.
expect anything if you're not giving.
Don't.
Yes.
Yeah. Zero expectation. Oh, if you have zero expectation, how you gonna have a relationship? Well, how's that working out for you? Expecting from other human beings like you. Even you as a human being, are you perfect? Imagine somebody expecting from you all the time. Isn't that enough pressure? Isn't that like pressure?
Exactly.
Doesn't that give you anxiety? Somebody expecting, unless they are minors and they're your children. Somebody expecting from you all the time. Isn't that, even your children, isn't that stressful?
Pressure.
Isn't that had a certain level of stress? Even your children know that you have to feed that mouth. That doesn't paying bills come with, even expecting from yourself to pay your bills. Doesn't that come with a certain level of stress already? So imagine an adult expecting you to make them happy.
It's ridiculous.
It's unrealistic.
It is unrealistic.
So you go into relations to give. You see something you like, you go there, you give. Period. You like what they're doing with their life, it aligns with what you're doing. You guys can go to your work and come back and sleep on each other's shoulder at night, and that looks like your future for you. Stop expecting from that person. Whatever they've done for themselves, that's what they're probably gonna share with you. They're not gonna do more than that. They're not gonna do more than that. Oh, but he's a cheater. Well, he is a cheater. This is what I have to say about infidelity. Let me just say this about infidelity in general. Infidelity is energy. It's a form of energy. Okay, somebody has to have enough space of room of energy in their head to be involved in that. If you give room, if they cheated, it's not your fault. That's number one.
No.
That's always number one. But keep in mind, if that's a relationship you got into, ask yourself too, how is it possible that this fellow have this amount of energy to give? Ask that question. It could be coming, you may be helping that. If you feel like you're not helping that, it may not be a bad idea to give them room to go and do them.
Yes.
If you're available when you come back, And you can see in their behavior with some with some time, right? Not test, but with time, you can see that they're consistently they are together now. You can choose to get into relationship again and continue to give.
Yeah.
It's not going to change. If you feel like no, I can't deal with that, then don't nag about it. Don't hold
Just
them
move
hostage.
on. Yeah.
Say, I'm out of this. Let me tell you something. If you tell somebody who is cheating, I'm out of this relationship, that's self-respect. Okay,
Yes.
for yourself.
Absolutely.
That may be what they need to get it together,
Yep.
right? But it comes down to the same thing. They don't really owe you to be faithful. You owe yourself to say, this is what I want. This is what I
This is
can't
what
deal
I
with.
want. Yes.
Relationship, marriage, all of that. Let me put that in the form of your siblings' relationship. Your sibling is the one that's always, calling you and disturbing you with negative stuff all the time, complaining about something. You can literally say, I'm not picking up your phone for the next 3 days. I can't. I just can't deal.
Because those negative energy kind of spread real quick.
Yeah, it's the same
Before
thing.
you know it, your husband might not be doing anything to you. You are giving him the side eye. Maybe that's how you act too. Inheriting other people's baggages for
You
no
move
good
all
reason.
you when you don't own the space you created in your life, you move it from the next person to the next person to the next person. If you notice that all your relationships kind of like toxic like that, maybe it's time to check
Check
yourself.
yourself. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So back to the topic. We kind of digressed off. Let's back to the topic for 1 minute and round this off.
Okay.
Jackie, I know marriage does not define a woman. This one that you're getting into, my love, Monique, my love, in the Monique voice, will define you. Okay,
Oh
it will
my God.
affect your everything, your life. It
Mm.
will. It's a lot of energy. It's a relationship, but it's a lot of energy. Okay, especially that you have opinions about it. It will define you. Okay, Mama Dinah, marriage. You are right. Marriage defines human beings, not just women. Okay, not just women.
Human beings.
Even a man who has a family and is out there on the street just gyrating like he doesn't,
Hmm.
he's missing something,
Hmm.
and that's defining him too. Marriage defines us. Is a big institution in human history. You can't. It's a conversation. It's a part of the conversation. It's a big conversation, so it will define you, boo boo. In Monique's voice. But last word, baby.
Uh, like I said, they both had points that I agree with. But
True.
yeah, you said it all, babe. You said it all. I'm happy for Jackie Aina. She's getting married to the love of her life. I wish her the best.
I think she shot that video before she got proposed to. So,
It doesn't matter.
but
Everyone is in a relationship for something.
no, I
You
was
know.
gonna say she didn't shoot her legs in that video at all. She left the room for it. She said, ask God. He said, when you get married, like ask God, or at least ask him. He's the one that's gonna propose. That means she didn't mind. See, when a woman doesn't mind being proposed to, you can hear. And she was absolutely not out of elements at all. But just for the people that will follow them, they need to note, take those words. These are just words. Look at that. Is she getting married?
Use
Oh,
some
man.
wisdom.
Yeah. Is she
Don't
getting
follow
married?
blindly.
Maybe you should rethink the way you think about marriage. Maybe she's actually truly on the side of Dinah.
Never know.
Because she didn't say, no, I hate marriage. She never said that in words. Her action is not saying that. Maybe you should learn how marriages work.
Our lifestyle is not saying that either. All right.
If you want to learn how marriage work, subscribe to this channel.
Okay.
If you like the conversation, give it a thumbs up. You want more 1 hour long conversations like this?
Oh my
Say
God!
in the comment an hour. Say it below in the comment area. Yes, I want one more hour. Just say it in the comment 1 hour. Just say 1 hour in the comment area if you want 1 hour. But hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. We'll see you on the next one, and peace.